Okay, so what I mean by this is, for example, if you are in a relationship and the relationship has been very, very steady all along, and for some reason somebody was trying to get in between you and a significant other, I do sense that their efforts are going to be thwarted and their efforts are not coming to fruition. Because at the heart of this here, we do have the Three of Cups, which indicates, a type of threesome type environment, or it's the beginning, the merger, or the very beginning in which the third person is starting to break their way through. Okay, so I just want you to be careful of this energy, because I do feel this is a game changer month for a lot of you. We are kind of like on the threshold of something new. As a result of it, it's a new thing, so tread very, very carefully. Be aware of your surrounding and be very, very, I guess, vigilant. Just be very vigilant for the second half of this month when it comes to your interactions with another person. If you are dealing with an earth sign in particular, they're showing up here as a Queen of Coins, which is somebody who is very trustworthy, who will take care of you, okay? So this can be male or female. So if this is a work environment, I feel that you know where you stand with this person. What you see is pretty much what you're going to get, because they're in the upright position. And also, I want you to think about your past history. If this person has never done anything, there is really no cause for alarm. There's really, the suspicions will be unfounded. And I don't feel there's any malice. I don't sense there's any deception coming in from an earth sign. So just keep that in mind for this month. I also feel that, the center card in this reading here is the Hierophant in the reverse position. And it deals with a lot about potentially, a work situation that has been very, very stable. Something's going on in your work environment, I feel, for a lot of you. Something is going on where if you're expecting some kind of a monetary payout, I do feel that it is coming, because we have the Six of Coins as the outcome. But I do sense that there's some kind of shuffling around. There's some kind of, I would say, devious behavior coming through from a large institution, okay? So this is not an individual. This is a large institution. If you're working for a governmental organization, if you're working for a company that has been a reputable company that has been around for quite some time, there's some kind of internal either changes in their procedures, or there's something shuffling around. There's some shift in the work environment, I feel, for a lot of you. So this is something to keep in mind. However, we do have, good cards here that indicate success, getting the recognitions that you need. If you feel like you've been overpowered by a supervisor or somebody in your work environment who is not giving you, the proper congratulations that you've been asking for, then I do sense that it is going to be coming by the end of this month. And the end of this month is also, the Thanksgiving holiday season. So I do feel that in a work environment, there might be a lot of office parties. There might be, situations where you're running into the work crowd, and it's a mingling between work and play. So it's a interesting dynamics, but I do feel that for whatever has been going on, there's definitely information coming to light, because the Seven of Swords is in the reverse position, meaning that whoever has been, unscrupulous, whoever has been doing things behind the scenes or doing things they're not supposed to, there's definitely information coming to light that will allow you to reach more of a, well, they will be exposed for sure. But just keep in mind that currently, for a lot of you, for a lot of Sagittarius sun signs watching this, you're going through your Saturn return, and Saturn is a karmic master, okay? So don't do anything you're not supposed to. So as a crossing energy, the Six of Wands is a card of success. However, the crossing energy can also be neutral. So it's like either reverse or upright. And one of the very interesting interpretations that I've read for this card, the Six of Wands, is it's sort of like you're at that point where you are getting the payout, okay? And you're feeling very victorious. You're feeling quite invincible. And so you let your guard down. And the definition that I was reading for this card is, it's sort of like letting your guard down and letting the opposition attack without you knowing. So be very vigilant for the second half of this month. That's one of the energies I'm sensing for a lot of you. Stay vigilant, stay alert, make sure that things are at the final stages of finality, of completion, or of wrapping up before you celebrate. So don't celebrate prematurely. Okay. I do feel there's some information coming through at a celebratory function, at some kind of gathering. There might be situations in which you are dealing with an earth sign. This can be a family member. I'm sensing for a lot of you, for the past few months, I've been sensing like this Virgo Sagittarius kind of dyad where the relationship is very, very karmic. So there is possibly an earth sign in your family situation, and there is a celebratory energy coming through where you might have to cross paths with this person. So just be very careful, okay? I'm also sensing, so this is going to apply for only a few. So whatever achievements you have, procure for yourself. And I feel that you deserve the congratulations. So I won't deny that, okay? But I do feel there is a difference between kind of like patting yourself on the back for a job well done versus gloating, okay? So just be careful about bragging and gloating, or you might deal with people who are going through this where, they've like amassed lots of wealth based on their work environment, and they're just gloating. They're just, rubbing it in everybody's faces. So that can get very, very annoying. Just, tone down your temper as well, okay? For the holiday season, it's just the proper thing to do. But, family gatherings can also stir up a lot of feelings within us, okay? Because we are so deeply entrenched with the people that we live with, that we grew up with. So this energy itself might be a little bit problematic, and I feel like it's more of a Thanksgiving thing with a family environment, okay? However, on the work front, I do feel for those of you who are expecting a financial windfall, who are waiting around for new financial opportunities, I definitely feel a windfall coming through for you. We do have the Six of Coins here. The Six of Coins does indicate, a helping hand. This is somebody who is stepping in order to help you out financially. It also signifies a financial windfall, whether or not it's from an investor, a corporation, some type of institution. It's also coming through for you. So I do feel for those of you who are looking for like a loan or something similar, if you were to search for a loan or get approved from a smaller, like a private bank, a family bank, I don't know if those exist anymore, or something that is less institutionalized, I feel that you're going to have a lot more success, okay? Because I do feel that so we're going from 4 of Coins, 5 of Coins to 6 of Coins, which is basically an alleviation of financial worries. But we still, at the heart of this, we still have the 4 of Coins and the 5 of Coins. The 4 of Coins indicates, hanging on very, very tightly to your resources. But in this situation, I feel that, with the 5 of Coins, it signifies some type of a karma, some type of a karmic situation, possibly a karmic relationship coming back in. And let your pride down would be my advice. Let down your pride. Allow other people to come in and help you. So don't be defensive for this month, okay? And likewise, you might deal with somebody who is a little bit closed off, possibly an earth sign, who's very like, I feel like they're a little bit wrapped up in their own obligations and responsibilities, so they might not be willing to let you into their inner life, let you into what's going on with them. So they seem a little bit guarded. But I'm getting this energy with the 4 of Coins, which indicates to me protecting your heart chakra, not wanting to put yourself out there because you're afraid of getting hurt, or this very, very like emotionally defensive mode. And it doesn't really bode well for any type of relationship when we are, closed off like that. So just keep that in mind and try to loosen up, I guess, try to loosen up. So it's a conflicting message. I feel like you either have to be vigilant or you have to let your guard down. So I feel like even though it's conflicting messages, innately, you know who you have to be vigilant around and who you have to let your guard down around. So for example, if you're dealing with an earth sign, and I'm seeing that the earth sign itself, they might be a little bit closed off, but they're good people. So regardless of your history with them, you know they're good people. You know that, they've got a good heart, they're willing to help and things like that. So let your guard down. If you need help, ask them for help, because a helping hand is definitely coming through for you. I do feel that you are going to be on the defense, but you're going to realize that this person has very good intentions and they're in your life for a reason, because there's some type of karmic ties. Once again, there's some type of karmic ties I'm sensing greatly for a lot of you. This could be like a daughter. This could be a mother. This can be like, somebody in your life. It doesn't have to be a female earth sign, but I'm sensing that greatly. Or it could just be somebody who is, there is like a history, an ongoing history, with this person. And basically what I'm sensing is the rest, the way this relationship will progress is still to be determined. So nothing is set in stone yet, and you have the ability to restructure, reshape, redirect this interpersonal relationship in any way that you like. So keep that in mind, and don't close yourself off to them or to their offer. Or if you need help, reach out. Just reach out, and whatever you project out into the world, you will get back. Okay, so reach out with kindness, with a helping hand. And I feel like they might be a little bit too proud to ask. So that's another thing to take into account. Okay. That's what I'm sensing here. So in terms of the advice, we do have the Ten of Swords, and that's why I'm getting conflicting messages. So I just want you to be careful and be vigilant, especially when it comes to possessions being taken away from you, such as, theft, robbery, and things like that. If you're going out celebrating, and this is also a card of celebration as well with the Three of Cups, just be vigilant about your items, okay? And the Ten of Swords indicates to me that if you're dealing with somebody who is very, very emotionally closed off, and you've tried multiple times to just reach out and offer them, some type of a bridge so that they can meet you halfway, I feel like the timing is not right, and they're dealing with their own issues. They're dealing with some type of hostility in their past, and they haven't overcome that yet. So they will meet you when they're ready, okay? This is also a situation where I feel that if you're in any type of a work environment, try to follow the rules. Try to do things by the book, and try to make sure that you don't leave any paper trails, cover your tracks, whatever it is that you're doing. So for example, Sagittarius, if you're just, really excited about traveling for Thanksgiving, and you have all this work, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I can cut corners, maybe I can dodge some of the responsibilities, just be very careful about that, because I feel like it might come back to haunt you. Possibly not in November, but possibly around December. So just, keep that in mind, and do things in a very methodical, thorough manner. Okay. So take on the characteristics of a Virgo, in which they're very detail oriented. They've got a really sharp eyes. Well, they've got really sharp eyes, sharp intuition as well when it comes to if things were done by the books. So you want to do things in a very meticulous manner before you head off, for your Thanksgiving holidays, for those of you who are celebrating in the States. So just be very, very careful about that. As for the external energy around you, we do have the Hangman, which indicates to me it's in the reverse position. It indicates to me that period of waiting, that period of, stall communication, waiting in suspense, and waiting for something to come into your periphery. That time frame is definitely over. So I definitely feel very, very strong, busy energy happening for you by the second half of this month. And I feel like some kind of breakthrough is happening when it comes to an institution. This can be school, this can be work, and it can just be, customs, tradition, breaking out of your shell, doing something that you normally don't want. For some reason, I'm sensing it's almost like, oh, that's beneath me, I'm not going to do that. But for this month, you're like, oh, it's not so bad. So And I use that phrase very loosely, you know, something beneath me, because I don't feel you're arrogant, and I don't feel that, you know, Sagittarius are very, very open-minded, and you're very much, you know, you only live once, so you gotta grab life by the horn. So you know how to live life. But I do feel that when it comes to like philosophical beliefs and you know, having that moral compass, you might tend to take that moral high road, or you might, you know, you might feel like you have a very strong, I guess, a stronger moral compass than other people, and you feel, and you might like not approve of somebody's lifestyle just because you don't agree with it. But for this, for the rest of this month, I'm sensing that you kind of have to descend from, I guess, your pedestal. You have to descend from your pedestal and try to see where the other person's coming from. Okay, so for a lot of you, I feel that I honestly, so this once again is not going to apply for all, but I'm just going to say this. You have Saturn in your sign, in your sun sign, transiting your sun. You have the Five of Coins, which indicates some type of karma that is still kind of, it's in the process of getting released. It's in the process. So for a lot of you, okay, so let's just say for those of you who have had like a string of bad luck, if for any reason you've been having like a string of bad luck for the past, let's say 7 months. Let's do 7 months, because I feel like that's the energy that is being reiterated here, because we have Seven of Coins, Seven of Swords. If you have had a series of bad luck with something where things you're kind of like turned against a brick wall, and you feel very stuck, if for any reason that is happening to you, I feel like there's some karma that needs to be released. And by released, I mean, I feel that you are holding on to people, holding on to customs, tradition, values that are very outdated. Okay, so I'm sorry to say. So Sagittarius, if you've been like, you know, one of those people that have been, you know, for example, just an example. If you feel like, okay, I don't approve of interracial dating, for example, and then your daughter, your son comes home with somebody who is of a different, you know, racial, ethnic group, and you don't approve and you stick by it, I do feel that it is time for you to let go of outdated customs, okay? Outdated beliefs, outdated ways of thinking, because it's going to hurt your relationships. And likewise, if you're dealing with others who are, I feel like you might deal with others, especially another earth sign, who might have these, you know, inhibitions about letting go of their outdated systems of beliefs. And I do feel that it is hurting their relationships. But once again, we can't really interfere with other people's life lessons. So just don't interfere with that, okay? But if it's specifically coming out, coming in from your end, I do feel that this is the month that you're going to realize the ramifications of that. And that's only for a very small minority of you, because I don't feel that everyone is doing this. And I feel like Sagittarius is probably the most open-minded signs of the zodiac. So I do feel in this way, you know, this is for a very select few. Additionally, so for example, if you have the belief that, you know, people should not live together until they're, you know, like a couple, a man and a woman should not live together until they're married. You know, that, keep in mind, that is your personal belief, and you shouldn't impose that on other people, especially when it comes to your children, or when it comes to people you care about and you want them to be okay. But when it comes to, you know, these very, very personal beliefs, it's better not to preach to other people, okay? So try to descend from your pedestal and try to look at maintaining harmony and balance in your relationships, rather than taking on a preachy stance when it comes to telling people how you feel. like the what you feel they should do or how to live their life. So don't encroach upon the ways other people live, because I feel that there is definitely we have some very strong karmic things coming in, and this is going to be specifically yeah, I'm getting this very strong message. I feel like, okay, so I'm just going to stick with this because I'm feeling it very strongly. So, you know, like I said in many videos, family relationships are some of the most karmic relationships that we're going to have, because we're dealing with first of all, a generational divide. We're dealing with people who we've known really well, and they know how to push our buttons, okay? And we likewise know how to push their buttons. So if you've had like relationships with an earth sign specifically, or just any relationship in your life, honestly, that have been very troublesome, and a lot of it has to do with you not approving of the way they live, or they're not approving of the way you live, you can't change one another. However, if you love this person, you have to relinquish control, okay? You know, when it's like somebody telling somebody else how to live, it's all about control. It's all about control. Deep down, you might say that I know what's best for them, and I want them to be okay. I want them to have a happy life, but it's like, no, we are not supposed to interfere with other people's free will. We're also not supposed to interfere in their life lessons. So let people live out their life lessons and let people learn things, because we all signed soul contracts for precisely that reason, so that we can learn these important lessons. So the trick here is, Sagittarius, for those of you who have had like very rigid upbringing, Saturn is going to bring about, you know, like it's going to force you to re-examine your behaviors, re-examine your values, your belief systems, your childhood conditioning, and it's going to bring up these, you know,